What's up, YouTube? So I was at a friend's house about a night ago when the friend of mine that I just met straight up just gave me one of these. Okay, now what is it? This right here is a cigarette maker. And what you do is you take your cigarette tubes. They have a box full of just papers and filters, no tobacco in them. You take your tubes and your tobacco, whatever you're smoking, ganj, whatever, fucking pack that shit down into here, just like that. And then you take your tamper and you pack it down in there nice and neat. And then you take your cigarette tube and you attach it right here on the front. And then once you have it successfully attached, close it, go like that, and then push it forward. And then you get yourself a perfectly made cigarette. Pretty straightforward. The dude that was talking to me about it, what started off as one of my homies coming over yesterday or the day before and saying, "Hey man, do you want to go drink?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down, And I had there wasn't that much alcohol, but, I was grateful for the offer nonetheless. Had a couple shots of Kraken, and this one dude that I was hanging out with, he goes, how do you make these things work? And I'm like, well, you need the cigarette tubes and the tobacco is what you need. And he just straight up gives this to me. I'm like, oh, sweet. So, yeah. These things are quite handy to have. Get yourself some of them tubes, a carton full of tubes and some 4 aces, and you're good to go. But in my experience with making cigarettes with these, I have a difficult time getting the tube to stay on that little nozzle right there on the front. But it's pretty straightforward. And these things are quite cool, if you ask me. Very handy. You can make your own cigarettes, basically. So, yeah, if I ever get some tubes and some tobacco, I know I got a machine I can make cigarettes with. So it's pretty sweet. This is this makes your 100 cigarettes, basically. At least I'm assuming it makes 100 cigarettes because it says 100 millimeter. So this is a tube premium cut from Gambler. Yeah. Now, I normally, when I do my own homemade cigarettes, what I'll do is I'll use one of these. And these are a lot simpler to use. Open it up just like that. Stick your tobacco in there, pack it down nice and neat. And then you roll it one way, and then, yeah, you see me use this on my channel multiple times. As it turns out, I found like 3 cigarette papers, and I made like 3 cigarettes. And I smoked one of them, or I should say both of them, 2 of them already, and I got 1 left. And, when you're using a cigarette machine like this, or roller, you're basically making cigarettes like these. Filterless, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah. My friend Michael Baldwin has one of these right here, and yeah, if you have the tubes for them and the tobacco for them, making your cigarettes using a machine like this can be a great way to save a couple bucks on tobacco, especially. And a person by the name on YouTube that goes by the name Soon It Will Be Cold, he or she said, to answer your question as to why the double standards for sex when it comes to men and women exist. And he or she said it basically saying that men have to put in leg work, wine and dine. Women don't have to do none of that shit. All they gotta do is snap their fingers. In fact, let me read you the comment that this person said. This is his or her response. To answer the question as to why the men who get laid are studs, women who do are sluts, double standards exist. You said it yourself. Men have to work for sex. There is leg work, courting, and taking the woman out on dates. Women, however, don't have to do anything for sex. They just have to exist. Claiming that that's unfair or that women should be seen as men in that regard is naive. Men and women are different. There is no use in trying to think we're equal beings. See, that's where I disagree with him. I don't see it as naive at all. You know what I'm saying? Because you think that women don't have to put in any effort to get sex. And to a degree, they don't. But they still have to put in some degree of work, you know what I'm saying? And depending on what guy they're going after, you know what I'm saying? Some guys just straight up do not care, you know what I'm saying? Like, if a girl comes up to you and you're one of those guys that just does not care, and some random girl comes up to you and says, hey, you want to fuck? If you're straight and you haven't had pussy in a long ass time, and you ain't with nobody, chances are you're going to be like, I got some jimmies in my car, let's do this, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, some women, you know, like to get all gussied up before they do their thing, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know. And at the same time, it's like, the last part of this comment, there is no use in trying to think we're equal beings. Now, that exactly isn't fair either because, well, really when you think about it, personally I think equal rights for both sexes is something I believe in personally, you know, because the only thing that separates men and women is a vagina and a pair of boobs, you know what I'm saying? That's it. You know, both men and women have a stomach, both men and women are pretty much the same except for, you know, a couple of body part differences. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's really it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people, it doesn't matter. Really, it does not fucking matter, okay? What background you come from, what your sexual orientation is, none of that shit matters. What your race is, none of that shit matters because we are all human on this miserable planet. Yes, we are. And for that fact alone, we all bleed, okay? We all bleed the same color of blood. Okay? Also, I now have 2,716 subscribers. That is what's up. But why is that, YouTube? Why is it that men have to go through so much crap just to get laid, but women don't? You know, that's a question that boggles my mind. Because why, in fact, does this question boggle my mind? Well, the old expression comes to play. It takes two to tango, you know. So why is it that one sex has to try so goddamn hard to get some, and the other sex barely has to do anything? You know, it doesn't make any sense to me, YouTube. I'm trying to find logic in this, because if I go back to what I was saying earlier, which is we're all the same minus a couple parts. We all bleed the same color of blood. We all go through life and struggles and everything, so why in the actual fuck? Okay. Why is it that men have to try so goddamn hard to get laid, but women, they ain't gotta do shit? I'm trying to figure this out because it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. You know? What is the difference other than the human anatomy that we have? Okay, other than the human anatomy that we have, can anybody explain this to me? Because this you know, and this is the thing of it. Okay, unless of course you're incredibly good looking or you have a shit ton of money, then if you're a guy, you really don't have to try that hard at all to get pussy. You really don't. You know what I'm saying? That would be the exception to what this person has said is if you're an attractive young, or even if you're older and attractive, and if you have one of the two or both, you have a shit ton of money or you're really attractive, or both, okay? Then you really don't have to try that hard to get laid because women just seem to flock to you. Yeah. You know, despite the shit I may talk about myself, YouTube, as far as me personally, okay, me personally not seeing myself as attractive, I still catch women checking me out. And in some cases, total eye stare. Like, my eyes, her eyes. And locked in that moment of soul staring. Yeah. Which I honestly say I can't complain. It's nice and somewhat refreshing to know that some women find me attractive even if I don't see it. You know, that is quite refreshing, actually. Another person had asked me, are you capable of getting your driver's license? And the answer is yes. I'd have to put $20 aside so I can go take it after I've studied extensively. And then once I get my driver's license, I want to start saving up for a car. And I have one car that I want so goddamn badly. Like, you don't even know. But the car I want needs a shit ton of work, and it's $2,300 that I do not have. You know what I'm saying? And trust and believe, this car I would get me so much pussy you don't even know. And if it didn't, it would definitely boost my sex appeal a little bit. They'd be like, oh, look at him now with his driver's license all big and growing up. One of the biggest reasons why I haven't attempted to get my driver's license, And I'll be blatantly honest with you, YouTube. I get nervous about failing the exam. Not the driving part. I mean, I'm actually a really good driver, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? I've driven before, and I'm a damn good driver. You know what I'm saying? I get exam stress. Like, I get pre-exam nerves. You know what I'm saying? And the thing of it is, if you fail the exam so many times at the DMV, then they won't let you retake it for a couple of months to another year. So that just adds more pressure to the stress, if that makes any sense. Because I'm very confident, YouTube, that I could pass the driving exam part just fine. Okay? I show up to my driving exam sober, plenty rested, ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Not a problem. But the actual quiz part is what gets me. You know, it's like I said, I get very nerve-wracked about failing the exam. You know, and having my own place, having a job, those are good things to have if you're trying to get a girlfriend. And another thing that has prevented me from taking my driver's license is because I can't afford a car. So I'm like, what's the fucking point? If I can't afford a fucking car right now, what's the point of taking my driver's license test if I can't afford a car? You know what I'm saying? Why exactly? Because you could purchase a car that runs for $2,300 easily. Why purchase a car that barely runs if it runs at all? It's a classic car, YouTube. Simple fact of the matter. And I would trust a classic car over a newer car any day because the bodies are built better. You know what I'm saying? Cars today ain't shit. They may get better gas mileage, but the bodies are shit. Absolute shit. The carbon fiber that they use to make cars these days, you get into a head-on collision and that car goes like a can. Older cars get into a wreck and they barely dent at all because the bodies are more solid. You know, my bike chain popped off on me when I was riding my bike the other day. I was so pissed. I took it back into my apartment and it sat there in my apartment for a couple days. Then I turned it upside down and I put the chain back on it without too much difficulty. So I'm hoping that the chain will stay on for when I ride my bike to work on Tuesday. Now, which would I save up for first, the sex doll or the car? You know, that's a tough question because the car I want is going to need a lot of work and that's just more money, you know. saving up for a $2,575 sex doll that I want. It would definitely help with being lonely a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But would it get me from point A to point B? And the answer is no, it wouldn't. That's kind of what the bike's for, but I really can't do shit with that bike when the weather gets nasty outside. I'm trying to ponder. I ponder to myself, why is it, though, going back to what I was saying earlier, okay? Why is it that men have to try so goddamn hard to get sex, but women barely have to do shit? Why is it? Is it because society as a whole expects men to be the tougher sex and to do more? That could be it, honestly. When that's a total bullshit expectation, you know. But that could be it. I get so sick and tired of these women going around and saying shit like, oh, men don't know true pain because they've never given birth to a child. Okay, I can imagine giving birth to a child is painful, but here's the thing, Skippy Jims. One should not compare the amount of pain that the other may or may not receive, because one must realize that as humans, we all experience pain, whether it be physical or mental. And to sit there and say that, you know, men will never truly understand pain until they've given birth to a child is, well, it's kind of stupid, honestly, because, you know, that's like you're saying that men don't experience pain at all, you know. You ever got hit in the nuts really hard? Doesn't feel too good, does it? Now, I'm not comparing getting racked in the nuts to childbirth. I'm just saying, YouTube, that women should not be so quick to say things like this, because they fail to realize that men experience pain too, you know. It's just part of being human. Sitting there comparing pain to someone else's pain like it's a contest is the most stupidest thing I could think of right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think the closest men will have to childbirth pain, I guess, would be taking a crap that would stretch their asshole a little bit. You know, if you take a shit so big that it physically hurts to push out. And I think that is the closest men will have to experiencing that pain, you know. But why make it an issue? You know, why even bring it up? You know what I'm saying? I get sick of people when they do shit like that. Like, you know, people sit there and compare sob stories. Like, really? Everyone has a sob story, YouTube, no matter how big or how small. Everyone has been through some shit in their life. Granted, some people have been through a lot worse shit than others. But that's beside the point, isn't it? You got 3 papers, why waste them? My computer desk was kind of filthy, so I just got done cleaning it not too long ago. And it doesn't look so filthy now. Now, when it comes to relationships, being dominant and submissive, some people will tell you they hate it. Some people will straight up tell you they absolutely hate it when a person is too dominant in a relationship. And some people will tell you that they absolutely straight up hate it when a person is not dominant enough in a relationship. Okay? So that in question comes down to the person in question. Some people like a less submissive person. Some people like it when a person's more dominant, you know. And within that, you have the laws of attraction. And that works for both sexes. It's not going to matter if you find that person super attractive. If they don't feel the same way about you, it's just not going to happen. And if you find yourself in that situation, the very best thing you can do is to back off and move on. And it can be tough when you find somebody attractive and you don't want to move on. But there's no sense in digging yourself a hole that's almost impossible to get out of. And I struggled with that growing up with my Asperger's. When I found certain women super attractive, you know what I'm saying, I struggled with it, you know, because when you have Asperger's syndrome and you like something or someone, you become obsessed. And it's taken me a couple years, but I've learned to cope with it and to just deal with it, and that, you know, it just becomes a switch, you know what I'm saying, in a sense, you know. If I find a girl attractive and she doesn't feel the same way about me, instant back off, move on, you know what I'm saying. That becomes an instant for me. And getting rejected flat out sucks. There is no nice way to put it. It just flat out fucking sucks. You know, having your heart stomped on like a cigarette butt. But here's the thing. Even attractive people get rejected. That's hard to believe, I know. But if anything I would ask of people is that the first time around, if you're going to reject somebody, even if the person totally grosses you out, be nice about it, man. Seriously, if you're going to reject somebody, let them down gently, because for some people, you know, especially getting the courage to ask somebody out for a cup of coffee or some pizza or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Which, hey, I love pizza, okay? Pizza is one of my favorite foods, YouTube. Oh. Okay, pizza, oh my god. I fucking love pizza. Okay, it's one of my favorite foods. Pizza is just awesome, man. I don't care what anyone says. One love, pizza and music. Straight up. But anyway, I'm thirsty. I'm gonna have a cup of water. I'll be right back. Because here's the thing, YouTube. Life is incredibly ironic like this. Trust and believe. If you go to if somebody asks you out and you're just a complete ass the first time they ask you out. Now, if they're being persistent and obnoxious about it, then yes, I would definitely say be a little bit more aggressive with your answer. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? That's just the thing of it, you know? Because I guarantee you that the first time around, somebody asks you out, and you just tear into them and make them feel like shit for asking you out. Trust and believe the same thing's going to happen to you one day when you ask somebody out. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Trust and believe, YouTube. Trust and motherfucking believe. The golden rule, do unto others as you'd want done to you. Yeah. And that's something to keep in mind, YouTube, when somebody's asking you out and you ain't into them. The golden rule, okay? If you were working up the courage to ask somebody out and it just completely treated you like absolute shit for asking them out, how would you feel about it? And chances are, YouTube, you wouldn't feel too good about it, would you? No, I reckon you wouldn't. Now, if you're going to be making joints with something like this, I'm going to tell you right now, let me get this thing out. Before you tamp your bud into there, you want to grind up your bud so it fits easier into here. And then when you go to smoke it, take the cotton out of the filter. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. And this is some more advice I'd like to give any dude or woman out there, is that if you're going to ask somebody out and that person happens to be super attractive, the first thing you need to do, and this is hypocritical of me, but don't let that person's attractiveness intimidate you. And this is very hypocritical of me, especially because I've seen a fair amount of women that I found super attractive that I wanted to just go up and start a casual conversation with. But I couldn't do it because their attractiveness intimidated me. And on the rare occasion that I saw a very attractive woman and her attractiveness didn't intimidate me, you know what I'm saying, like, it surprised the hell out of me, especially because I'm like, well, you know what I'm saying, super hot track, you know what I'm saying, yeah. Okay, and the first step right there, that's just confidence 101 right there. And somebody who has no confidence in themselves should not be giving advice on confidence. I know this. I know it makes me the world's biggest hypocrite, but I don't care. Okay? I'm saying this because this will help somebody else out. Because I have no confidence in myself, right now I'm missing out on potential dates that I could be having if I had a little bit more confidence in myself. But confidence isn't enough, YouTube. You gotta have things that appeal to the person you're trying to get them. If you're trying to get a person to notice you, you gotta have things, traits that will get them to notice you. Okay? Now, despite not being very confident in myself, I look at what traits I do have. Big muscles, a decent sized dick, amazing guitar skills, and the ability to sing, and a gift with music. Okay? And if I could just remember those 5 traits next time I go to talk to a girl, chances are she would probably subconsciously respond positively to me. Now check this out. This is a trick that I have used to get women to notice me before. And I didn't have to do a goddamn thing to do anything. How exactly? What sorcery is this? Okay. Let's say you're a single dude, okay, and you're going to a bar and you have a hard time talking to women. What do? Okay. Use the power of your mind. Okay. Use the energy around you to put out that subliminal thought or thoughts. Okay, and this is what you want to do. You want to scream it inside your head as loudly as possible. Okay, as loudly as possible. Inside your head, scream it. I am damn attractive, and women will notice me in this bar. That's all you gotta do. Okay? And just keep thinking it, okay? Just keep thinking it. Just keep thinking it. Just keep thinking you're damn attractive and women will notice you. And if you're in a bar full of a couple of women that you wouldn't mind having a couple drinks with, try this next time you're in that situation and see what happens. You might actually come back to my channel and personally thank me for this. Now, despite having trichoteria, my hair does not look that bad, actually. And really, it's only one spot on the back of my head, like right about there, that's been picked at pretty badly. And I checked it earlier today, and I can actually feel tiny hairs starting to grow back. So, yeah. The best way that I can get over my trichoteria is learning not to pick. First thing. Second thing is not to be self-conscious about my hair. Acknowledging that some goths have half their head shaved, and that some musicians have even shaved half their head. So, like Marilyn Manson, for instance, you know what I'm saying? So, what's one little spot on my head? Now, if you want a potion and... Okay, I want to give you a secret, YouTube. You want a magic potion and spell to make your hair grow faster? You need but 4 ingredients. 1 spell and 3 basic ingredients. You take a decent-sized bowl about that big, and you fill it up with virgin olive oil, onion juice, and vinegar oil. Okay? And you mix them up into one bowl. And then you take the mixture and you vigorously rub your entire scalp with it. Okay? Especially in areas where your hair is thinning. And as you are rubbing this mixture into your scalp, what you want to do is to recite the magical spell for hair growth. And the words for this spell are: stretch it, twist it, make it grow, like a river, let it flow. This is my wish, so mote it be. Again, the spell is: stretch it, twist it, make it grow, Like a river, let it flow. This is my wish, so mote it be. And if you can, do this treatment before you go to bed. And you want to do this treatment for your hair at least 10 to 20 minutes before you go to bed. And you spend that time just rubbing and massaging your scalp and massaging that mixture into your scalp. And then you want to avoid washing your hair for 3 to 4 days after that. Granted, it's going to make your hair smell kind of funky, but I guarantee you that this mixture and this spell will do the trick. Okay? Now, it may or may not work if the hair on your scalp on certain spots refuses to grow back. But you might get it to start growing back again. But the important thing is when you take the mixture, you know, and all over your hair, and just really, you know what I'm saying, just really, you know what I'm saying, I'm being serious here, okay? You want to work that mixture into your hair. Yeah. And if you don't think that that trick at the bar will necessarily work, next time you're in line at a grocery store and you're standing behind a cute girl, put the thought out there, turn around and look at me. Just do it, see what happens. And 9 times out of 10, if you do it for long enough, that girl, for whatever reason, is going to turn around and look at you. And subconsciously not realize why she's doing it or for what reason it'll serve. Yeah. I've used this trick a couple of times at various different bars, and it hasn't gotten girls to come home with me, but it has gotten girls to approach me instead of me approaching them. See what I'm saying? So that's something to think about. Well, anyway, this is KingCobraJFS with another video. I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all later.